So I hope I've made a believer in you that CSS is definitely the way to go when we want to style our web pages. And I'm hoping that you find that CSS style sheets is additionally the way to go. So I'm going to show you how you would go about doing that with what we've already done. So here's our files that we created for the workshop. These are our web pages and our images folders. So we're going to add a new folder, and we're just going to call this one CSS. And as you can see, we're going to look, and here's our web pages, here's our images, and there's nothing in our CSS at the moment. So we can simply open Notepad, and we can go ahead and create a file. And it's really just this simple. I'm going to create a blank one for now, but we'll populate it later. And do a file, save as, and you'll see down here, and we're going to call this one classroom.css. Oops. Now it's this CSS extension here that makes all the difference in the world. Now we're going to have to drop this down and say all files. Then we're going to move and point it back to, let's get back here. Right now it's looking at my, let me find these documents again. Workshop, and point it to the CSS and save. Now when I look in CSS, you're going to see Classroom, and you can see over here it says Cascading Style Sheet. It would if we could fit it all, and that's because of the extension. You don't see it here, but there's an extension on here called CSS. Now if I were creating a new web page, I would simply populate the notepad with some CSS code. And then we could make the, we could set what the background image would be, and we would continue to go on creating what our what we would want our page to look like. I don't have everything in front of me, so I'll just put some stuff in here. And or if we already had an embedded web page, we could take that code and place it in here, and that's what we're going to do. I'm going to go ahead and open a document we've already been working on, and I'm going to take the CSS code out of that, and I'm going to place it into the into this style sheet. Then I'm going to link that web page to this style sheet. Okay, here's the CSS code from the test page that we've been working on, and here is all the CSS code, and it's in the style. We said that it's CSS code, and we gave it a style, and this is the style, and this is the embedded code that would read for this HTML code on this web page. But we're going to remove it from this web page. We're going to take away the style tags because we no longer need them on this web page. And we're going to replace it up here with a link, but we'll do that later. Let's go ahead and copy this, or actually we're going to cut this out of here. Get all of the code, right click, cut, and we're going to go back to our style sheet, and we're going to add it in there. Here's our style sheet. We're going to replace that and just Control V, and there's our code. It's in there. I like to pull it off the top so I can read it a little bit easier. And then we're just going to do a file, save. We now have these styles saved into this Classroom CSS style sheet. We're going to go back to the other document, and now we're going to add in the link. Now I already had the link saved, so I'm going to just place it in there to save a little bit of time. I'm going to remove these comments because they no longer are the case. I'm going to remove a little bit of the space in here. And I'm going to place the link in there. And I'm going to explain a little bit what it means. This link is now telling it to link. This is where it's linking to. I'm linking it to the actually, I'm missing, that should go to the CSS folder. And this tells it to go to the root of the CSS folder, looking for the classroom CSS file. This tells it it's a style sheet, and it tells us that it's CSS. We're now going to save this document. And it should operate exactly the same way that it did before, only now it's going to be pointing towards the this to get the styling for the page. So let me refresh the document and see if that's working. I've just refreshed the document, and as you can see, everything's the same here. It's all working fine. Just to verify that it's working, I'm going to go back to the CSS style sheet, and I'm going to change let's see, let's remove the easiest thing. Let's remove one of these links and we'll know that it's updated. So here is our no, we can't actually, I'm sorry, I'm not going to remove the link. We're going to let's just change this to black. That'll be very clear if it works. File save. Minimize that. Let's update the page, and there it goes. It gets an immediate change, and if I had 12 pages all with that same style sheet, they would all go black. So this makes for a very nice way to change your web pages. And we're going to go back, unchange that, back to, let's see if light blue will work. Save, minimize it, refresh the page. It doesn't look like light blue's being recognized. Let's go back to the ivory. Oh, it's probably a different, I think it's LT, but let's just go with blue. I'm not sure how the text is going to show up. And this gets fun to play with this. There we go. Little gaudy, don't think I'm going to go with that, but you get the idea. So this is what you're going to do. I'm going to have you create some web pages using the external CSS code, and that's what you're going to practice next.